guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. So today we're going to take a look at this cooler right here. This is a Dokkan Awakening of a unit that came out several years ago, this bad boy right here. Remember, he came out along with the Dokkan Fest STR cooler. Now, I think that this unit right here has sort of the makings of what will be potentially a pretty solid free-to-play unit. Right, one of the biggest things we could talk about right away is his super attack effect. He is stacking defense instantly. That does give characters, I think, a little bit more viability, especially as the game, you know, begins to get stronger and like stronger events come out and stuff like that. Being able to stack defense is always helpful. He does also lower attack too. Now, he doesn't do a ton here. 80% attack and defense start of the turn, 10% defense with the super attack up to 30%, and then Terrifying Conquer category allies 2-key 30% attack and defense. Pretty basic. With his low stats, he's just not really impressive, right? Like, he sucks ass. He's terrible. This is a terrible unit, right? But he is definitely going to EZA during this Worldwide Download Celebration with the defensive stacking, attack lowering, and support, and what seems to be focused more on him defensively. This cooler potentially could be an okay unit. We know that the upcoming LR Dokkan Fest is going to be a character that is going to be final form cooler at the start of turn, right? So maybe this guy could be okay EZA'd with that upcoming final form cooler. Our first turn here, we're at 91k defense, which is, again, if we were looking at like 300k defense here, I'd be like, not really so great, right? Yeah, sorry, the game is advancing here. His link set, a bit weird. So he has Strongest Clan in Space, Thirst for Conquest, Cold Judgment, Brutal Beatdown, Metamorphosis, Nightmare, and Shattering the Limit. So he doesn't have big bad bosses. This TEQ cooler, which is very strange. I don't know why he has cold. I'll be honest. I don't know why he has Cold Judgment. That doesn't really. Cold Judgment is not, I feel like, going to do a lot on this character. Look at the units that have Cold Judgment. Do you see yourself using cooler with these characters? The answer for the most part is no. No, you do not. Because a lot of these Cold Judgment characters, these are not units we're using. Maybe this golden cooler, I guess, but like that's it. So like they should have just made this big bad bosses, man. Like, he should have big bad bosses right here. That would help him dramatically more on, you know, Wicked Bloodline, movie bosses, all these types of teams. So I'm a little bit negative so far, but, I mean, it's just, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. Outside of, like, if they would do, like, a legendary Goku event or, like, another one, like, I don't see where this guy's gonna be helpful at the moment. He potentially could be pretty good after his EZA. I like what we're seeing, again, with defensive stacking, building up more defense from his passive, and then also being a support. As a support type character, an emphasis on his defense would, I think, make him more runnable and thus a better unit, right? The damage that this cooler does, I don't really care about so much. Pretty much any supports, damage is not really the main focus that I'm looking at with them. What I want to see from these types of characters is, again, the emphasis, I can't even talk, the emphasis on defense, right, I think is a little bit more what's needed. That's why Chi-Lai is so good, right? It's not a shock that Chi-Lai might be within, like, the top 5 best units for Cell Max or something like that. She's up there. Chi-Lai is insane for that Cell Max fight, where they gave her, you know, Scouter, Healing, Dodge, all, you know, support, Rainbow Orb Changing. They gave her all these abilities, right? And then they gave her no attack whatsoever, and it just makes her a busted character because she's there to make your other hard hitters have an easier time, right? I think, like, if that is what we're gonna get from this cooler right here, that could be good. All right, so what do we got right here? So he's up to 165k defense, right? We have a much better rotation. We have full support. We're getting support from Cool EZA as well as Turles, right? And then, of course, we do have Cooler here, who is building up, right? We definitely want to go full additionals with this guy. He's still only at 165k. It's just nowhere near good enough. I still see people, I think, just not really getting the full grasp of what you need defensively to be able to take hits nowadays, right? Like, you know, AGL Bardock is not going to be helpful in the upcoming Red Zone stages against Cooler and Frieza, right? Like, these level of characters, they were good years ago, but, like, things are just completely different now, right? You need a lot more defense in terms of it. So, if I'm looking at this Cooler, right, maybe, you know, they could increase his support ability, maybe give him 3 key, 30% attack and defense is fine. Maybe increase that extra defense from his passive, maybe, you know, from, like, you know, 10%, 3 times, maybe like 20% 3 times or something like that, right? But like what I think would really help this Cooler out, if you just slap like 40% damage reduction on this guy, I think now we're talking, right? So like 40% damage reduction, he builds up defense with his passive, and he's stacking defense with his super attack. Now we're talking about a really interesting unit here. And it's like, yeah, sorry, I want even like free-to-play characters to have value, and I think that's a perfect way to do it, right? I think it should be fairly easy for them to make these characters good, right? They don't have to be too good. So it's like, you know, Cooler, I'm, you know, theorizing that this Cooler is not going to be doing, you know, 6 million attack stats with damage reduction and support, and then he's stacking defense, stuff like that. Just more so prioritize that defensive ability. I think if Dokkan would just realize with free-to-play characters to just, like, not even worry about their damage whatsoever, it'll be really good, right? And, you know, we're going to do a video looking at the Goku and Gohan exchange unit. And it's like they have an interesting little gimmick too with the Senzu heal, which I think could be interesting. So right now, the 2 free-to-play characters that we've got, the Cooler and the Goku and Gohan, they're not exceptional, but I could see them actually being good after their EZAs. You know, we look at the 6th year anniversary. The 6th year anniversary, a lot of those free-to-play characters were very good on release. Very good and in very difficult content, right? Like the Tien and Roshi, right? LR Master Roshi, like those characters were just good in like a lot of content. LR Roshi, like, you know, keep in mind, they dropped the God event, which was the hardest event in the game at the time, and LR Roshi dominated the God event, right? Like, imagine if they dropped a free-to-play character that dominated Red Zone right now. Right, like it would be insane, and that's, I mean, that is what I'd like to see. All right, so we have a really solid rotation right here. What is Cooler's defense up? So he's up to 221k. Yeah, it's still, he's just stacking so slow, right? It's too slow, and he's going to stack a little bit slower from this point on. Because remember, he's also getting the 10% defense with each super attack performed in his passive, right? So it's like once that's fully built up, then there's going to be a lot less for us to be able to work with there. So he's not. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to cap. He right now, this guy is just not. Do I say he's virtually unrunnable? Maybe. I'm just going to do this just in case. If this God Vegeta super attack right away, we might die, actually. Yeah, do I want to say he's unrunnable? No. I do think they should release another, like, event similar to, like, the Legendary Goku event or Legendary Vegeta event or something like that, right? Maybe give one against a villain, right? So, like, a Legendary Frieza event, or they could do, like, a Wicked Bloodline version. Because to me, like, they're doing Red Zone, which is awesome. I do think, like, sort of, like, medium-level content is good as well, right? You know, Boss Rush, Infinite Dragon Ball History, a Legendary Goku event. You know, these days, the way those Goku, like, those legendary events are set up, they are just very, very easy to do. But I still think it's good to have all this different types of content. And this Cooler is probably, even after EZA, not going to be a character you're taking into, like, Red Zone level stuff. But certainly some sort of event that might go on for a long time, right? Like a long, difficult content type thing. I do think that this Cooler potentially could be good in there, right? And that is good. Because I saw a lot of people upset about Red Zone saying, like, what about the free-to-play players, the content for them? And it's like, well, they do, right? Again, that's what, like, Infinite Dragon Ball History, and I mean, you could even kind of say Super Battle Road stages. They drop Super Battle Road stages basically every single celebration now, and I mean, you have 8 items to rock in those Super Battle Road stages, which I just think makes a lot of them not really that tough anymore. I think a lot of the designs of recent characters are just way too good. That if you're taking them into some of those Super Battle Road stages, you're destroying, right? Like, AGL Cell or like the STR Goku and Gohan, like, they can single-handedly dominate Super Battle Road stages, right? Like, AGL Cell, you could do a triple 9 million attack stat turn 1 with chance to crit and dodge an additional built into his passive, right? Like, he can completely just destroy a Super Battle Road stage himself, right? You pop one item, he does that, and then, oh, you're good, right? Like, a lot of different examples like that. I might make this the last turn right here. Again, not really too much for us to look at with this guy. He is a pretty basic unit at this point. Not really a lot going on with his kit. We'll have to see what he's like EZA. He definitely will get a huge stats increase, so he's just going to be looking better overall with that. But again, I think if they give this guy just 40% damage reduction on top of his support and then his defensive stacking, I think he could be pretty good, right? Like, that's actually a unit that potentially could help, you know, on like a powerful villain team in like a red zone event or something like that. Like, who knows? You know, they definitely could. I don't think something like that is just like completely unthinkable, especially because if you look at this cooler's damage, it's pathetic. This TEQ cooler, his damage is so bad that we're seeing from him. These 1 million attack stats does not mean jack shit, right? How much is he going to take right here? That is still a lot. For a stacking character, that's a lot. I just really wish Dokkan wouldn't Dokkan Awaken a character, intentionally make them bad, and then also want to EZA them during the same celebration. It doesn't work that well, I think, right? Like, it's like, you know, this guy, whatever his EZA was gonna look like, they could have just made his Dokkan Awakening, and then this guy could EZA like 2 years down the line or something like that. I do really wish Dokkan would have, you know, sort of taken that model with some of these free-to-play characters, right? Because I just don't see a reason why a unit has to come out immediately, be mid, then they get an EZA to be usable. But, like, you know, like immediate EZAs just are something that just doesn't really make sense. I think it's a bad practice. That's one of the few things Dokkan, like, does wrong and has continued to do wrong for a while now, right? Friend system, I think, would also be one. But let me know what you guys think of the TEQ cooler. Right now, he is pretty terrible, but I do like some of the stuff he's doing with the defensive stacking, the support, and the focus more on defense. He potentially could be pretty good after his EZA. So let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.